Hi, I wanted to let you know about something that happened recently. My bank account got hacked. Fortunately, um, I called the bank and I let them know that the transactions that I saw in my statement were not all familiar to me. And the bank worked with me and they told me within 12 to 24 hours they were going to reverse the transactions. One of them was a withdrawal of thousands and thousands of dollars, an amount that I don't even have in my bank. So, what happened was the transaction didn't go through. And then I got charged by the bank because apparently I tried to transfer money that I didn't have. It wasn't me. I don't know if the people responsible for the two separate transactions that were fraudulent are related. I don't know if it's the same person, same crew, or whatever, but it happened, and it happened on different days, all in the past month. The only thing that I did out of the ordinary was to go for a smog test for my car, and it was time to renew my registration with DMV, or Department of Motor Vehicles, and I was supposed to go for a smog test, which it's something that we have to do here in California. And the guy was using an app to take the payment with my card. I thought twice about it, but I had heard of it before. I had a friend back in the day in Salt Lake City who ran a limousine business and he used Square, the app, Square. It wasn't unfamiliar to me. I just had never participated in, the whole Squareness before. Long story short, I just wanted to let you know that, stuff like this does happen. It happens to the best of us. This is the second time my account got hacked with the same bank. I won't put them on blast because I don't think it's their fault that this happened. 2 years ago, I lived in Salt Lake City. I live in Los Angeles now. When I lived in Salt Lake City, I was about to move back to LA, and I was planning my move like a week before I moved back to LA from Salt Lake City. I got a call from the bank. I won't go through the details, but the bottom line is my account was hacked. It was the first time this happened to me here in the US. Yeah, when I gone through some stuff back home in Africa. And so I went to the bank and they told me that somebody had called the bank previously and changed all my contact details as if they were me. So when they called and the bank asked them to confirm security questions, for some reason, they were able to do that, which is scary to me. I don't know who that could have been. And not only that, they got into my account and then they changed the details onto details that they were going to be able to access in the future. So they created a new email address under my name. My name is Babalwa Brook. So they decided to create a legit sounding email address, babalwabrook@yahoo.com. Makes sense, right? And then they apparently this is what happened. The bank's telling me, and then they called like in the future. So this time when they made the call to the bank and were asked to confirm, it was details that they had created themselves. They had made up. They'd given them a South African phone number. I'm from South Africa, but I haven't been in a minute. So these people pretended to be me and told the bank that they were back in Africa and wanted to transfer all the funds from my account into this South African account or African account. Listen, they wanted to transfer everything. Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard I've worked to save the money that I had at the time? It was like, are you serious? Like, where's your heart? You can't even leave me $100 to move back to LA? Really? Long story short, I was like, this is not the time for me to be going through this. I was working nights. I made the final call to the bank to finalize everything. It was like at 5 a.m. before I left work. And then that same day, I couldn't go home to sleep. I had to go to the bank with my proof of ID, proof of this, proof of that. for them to close their old account and create a new one. I was so grateful that they told them, no, we're not doing this. This is suspicious. We're not going to do it. Even though the people had managed to confirm all the details that they needed to get access into my account. And so what I want to say to you, so yeah, that happened. And then now with this new account, it just happened twice. I would like to warn you, and I'm going to try and do this too, because I can't have these people using my bank account as a playground. Are you serious? I'm busy. I don't have time. Like now, I'm so busy in the house with so many things to do. I can't even get out of the house. I'm literally sitting in front of two computers at the same time working. I don't have time to go and wait in lines at the bank because you decided to hack into my account. You know what I mean? I asked the lady at over the phone from the bank if it were possible for her to tell like who did this, and she said the name because one of the transactions was into an American Express account. Like, so she gave me this name, Dorcas something, or Quenya, or something like that. And I, with love to all my Nigerian people out there, it sounded like a Nigerian name. Okay, I'm from South Africa. I have Nigerian friends. It sounded like a Nigerian name. That's all I'm saying. And I Googled the name and looked up images. So change your password often. Change your username if you continue to use online banking. Try not to link your online banking details with all kinds of websites out there. Be careful which websites you purchase things from or stuff like that. Even when writing a check, be careful who you write a check to, because they can access information on the check that they wouldn't if you just swiped your card. So if it's possible and you don't really trust the person that you're dealing with, get a money order and pay them with the money order. Keep a copy of it in case anything happens for security reasons. If you have to make out a check, pay attention, make note, keep checking your bank statements to see, because it doesn't have to be a 10,000 transaction or 100,000 transaction. It could be $200 if you have a lot of money, and you may not notice the $200 that came out of your account. But do you really want people having access in your account? Probably not. So you want to keep checking your account often, maybe weekly or even monthly, because I noticed this within a month, which it was not that bad because maybe they're not done. And also, if you're using your phone, be careful which apps you download and the emails. Like if you see a suspicious email, you inherited something and whatnot. Let's be real. You kind of have an idea if you're going to inherit huge amounts of money or not. If somebody is going to randomly tell you that you inherited billions or even millions, even $100,000 out of the clear blue sky, think twice. And don't be like, you know what, they got a wrong one this time. I'm going to email them back and I'll be like, whatever, and I'll give them attitude. No, don't email them back at all. Put it in your spam folder or report phishing, phishing, or something like that. Don't even entertain it, because by responding, you could be giving them access you don't know. And if you use online banking and you have a phone, apparently it's safer to use an app. Like if your bank has an app, it's safer to use the app to do your transactions versus going online and punching in your details. Also, if you have a cell phone or something mobile, apparently that's safer than like a laptop or a desktop. And always log out if you log in on internet browser. Always log out. Make sure you remember. And you know how the website automatically says, would you like to remember or to save this password? Never. Not for your banking type of details. And if it's possible for you to use a different email address for the bank versus all your other things, try and do that, because sometimes someone will hack into your Facebook, and just by going there, if you're using the same password for everything, which a lot of people do, if you use the same email address for everything, which is normal, they already have access to your bank, because they'll use the same stuff that you use on Facebook. They'll try it on your bank, and voila. I also heard that some scam artists get access into your computer through the camera. So I believe if you're not, some people do it when you're not using the camera on Skype or whatever. Some people stick something on there so that people can't see. It's sad, but it's, it's the world we live in, and you want to protect yourself. So those are the tips that I can come up with off the top of my head. And I'm also going to try I'm not going to try, but I'm going to put them into practice as well, because I don't want to be Googling Nigerians. Are you serious? I'm busy. I don't have time for this. And I hope it doesn't happen to you. And if it does, I hope that the bank can reverse it. And I hope it's not at the worst time, because you know how these things are. Like, it happened to me a few days before I moved. If, God forbid, if anything had happened, it would have been a really awkward time, because I had to get out of my apartment. I had to pay for a place I was moving to. It was just not the time for me. Not now, but the first time when they tried to transfer the money into an African account. And I'll leave you with that for now. Be careful with your finances. Let me go to the bank and take care of this. Be safe.